Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Man is supposed to be a creature of reason. But when you look at Mnangagwa's Varakashi for ED, Apostoli for ED, etc., and Chamisa chete brigade, one has got to ask themselves, yes, man is supposed to be a creature of reason, but undoubtedly, some people are incapable of thinking. I've said on this platform that Zimbabwe is a failed state. Yes, we can blame ZANU-PF, we can blame the opposition, but ultimately, we, the people, are to blame. In Zimbabwe, we have had the misfortune of giving the vote to individuals who have again and again demonstrated that they are incapable of thinking for themselves. The ancient Greeks were right. Democracy, the government of the people, for the people, by the people, only works if the people themselves are educated, knowledgeable, and objective. Because when they are those things, that's the only time they can hold those in positions of power and authority to account. The sacred duty of the citizen is to hold those in positions of power and authority to account. And we in Zimbabwe, we are a failed state because the people have failed in their sacred duty to hold those in power to account. The people have been brainwashed so much that instead of holding those in authority, in positions of power and authority to account, they worship them. It's not every day that I agree with Apostle Chwenga, but on this occasion, I have to agree with him. When he called Mnangagwa Apostoli for ED, dunderheads, he was right.
Obwa kugerwa zuda risingaite onzi pfeka gemenzi rewhite wopuwa tsvimbo yakareba kudeso onzi ngatichiite mupiyaniso watosviga izvezvi pazambara pana panonzi pakrawa ndo panogara mwari panapa unogona kutosvika pakuchererwa uchitogerwa musoro uchifamba uine chitsvimbo chemushenjere. Ini ndinozviziva, ndine hama dziriko izvezvi, vazhinji vacho havatomboda kutaura neni, asi unozoona kuti mamwe machechi ukanyatsoatarisisawo, ukaatarisisa uine shungu, unozoona kuti Satani ane utsinye. I realize the devil is very cruel. Do you know that there are certain churches that attract dunderheads? Have you realized that? Same generation of empty heads. Vanhu vasina chavaiziva kuchikoro vega ndo vanenge vakazara ikoko. So tukavatarisa so. Even kutaura navo unoona wega kuti it's a lost cause. Kana vatomboungana kudai rega vaswere ipapa. At least havazobata vanhu huro mumabiriji. Ini ndine hama yakadaro wokuti chero kwaaenda kuchechi ndechitotenda Mwari kuti akatoswera ikoko zviri nani. dai angowana kukuswera akangomirirawo zvake mazira ake ndo zvingatomubatsira. Pozi tikamushayiwa ratori dambudziko futi. At least tikanga tiziva kuti Saturday gega anenge akapfunya chisero pakati. Everyone is set and settled. There are certain churches that attract empty heads all in all. Kubva kumukuru wesowe racho kusvikira kune muimbiri vana vemuSamaria vacho vese. Ukavatarisa zviso zvavo so unongoona kuti hai ndo vanga ari magroup D kuchikoro iwayo nemaspecial class. Ukadzinzwa ndimi dzacho broken English yega yega unonyatsoona kuti shungu dzekutaura chirungu dziripo dzakutaurwa chiri mundimi chirungu chachiya. Divine under glory control, Hosanna Jesus inside, holiness forsaken, regimental international, 4x4 Michael. Inyu ventures yamakavuyira grade 5 tokerei kuchikoro mutaure chirungu chiri correct. Nde kuchikidzira vanhu kuti muri kutaura ndimi izvo muri kuda kudzidzira chirungu maakuisa mweya mutsvene muchirungu. Chinzwai chirungu chacho mabudiro achiri kuita. Kinatsiyo Hosanna mambo kusvikira munhu akuzviti madzibaba endibai unonyatsoona kuti idunderhead remhande pamusoro.
Well, he was right. In the apostola for ED, we really do have dunderheads. Apostola for ED were invited to State House this last week. And people expected them to speak truth to power in the true tradition of the biblical prophets. Prophets like Samuel, prophets like Nathan. Zimbabwe is a failed state. We have a dictatorship. We have a tyrant who has rigged elections to stay in power. What's wrong with these dunderheads? Don't they know that Mnangagwa rigged the elections in 2023? And instead of speaking truth to power, they were given chicken. And they came out wittering about sapatini, how good the chicken tastes. You despair. And Mnangagwa, of course, has quoted these churches because they've got many followers. And as far as he's concerned, those are votes in the bag. But this story would not be complete if we did not mention also the dunderheads in the opposition. We have in the opposition people who have shown that they're incapable of thinking for themselves. I reiterate at this platform, I've said it so many times. Chamisa lied about plugging the vote rigging loopholes to stop ZANU-PF rigging the elections. He was lying. He wanted to con people to participate in the flawed elections, knowing fully well that participating would give ZANU-PF legitimacy. This is not the first time he has lied. He said the same thing in 2008, in 2018. MDC alliance has stringent measures to stop ZANU-PF rigging the elections. ZANU-PF rigged those elections, and he was the first one to complain that ZANU-PF had rigged the elections. But when you tell these people, the Chamisa chete brigade, that Chamisa lied, they cannot accept that. They cannot accept that Chamisa lied, that he had plugged the vote rigging loopholes. And yet they accept that ZANU-PF rigged the elections. How do you square that circle? Of course, the reason why they're stubbornly refusing to accept that Chamisa lied is out of this personality cult mentality. They worship Chamisa. Chamisa cannot do anything wrong. Let's listen to some of the Chamisa chete brigade talking.
I support Baba Chipenet ngavafome dzavo politics dzavo zvodedzera kuti ivo vana hopo chingono naiyo mandaza ngavafome dzavo vagona kana nhunzi inombovatevera. Hakuna kana one anombovatevera. Tiri kuda Chamisa isu. We are going to stand with Nelson Chamisa. Chero nhasi Nelson Chamisa akanzi ana pati ndomumira kusvika wana pati. Iwe imbomandaza iwe newe nhangirikira hopo chingono kumusha kwenyu unonzwa nhamo. Tara zvokupenga, tara zvokumama zvamuri kutaura izvi. Ausapoti Baba Chipenet. Mapenzi avanhu ava vanotaura kuti hanzi zvoni Chamisa kuti kudii Chamisa chii chacho. Ngavasiyane neChamisa. Ngavasiyane neChamisa. Chamisa ane makore mangani hoposhe une makore mangani kone Mandaza une makore mangani. Chamisa is 44 years ko iwe Mandaza. Une makore mangani kura Chamisa ane mwana mudiki. Vana uyu havako vana uyu havako. Ndiwo kamunhangirike opposition party. Varipi vana woshe Ncube vavako. Vana Biti havako. Vana unonzaniko uyu unomusoro unenge Bhemba uyu. Wakatengesa nhangirikiro wakatengesa party uyu. Usatora zvinhu zvokupenga zvokuti pahasha. Vana madhuku havako. Muswera muchidzingasana naChamisa munomudii Chamisa. Siyana naChamisa, just leave Chamisa akadaro. We are going to stand with Nelson Chamisa. Chero zvodii. We are going to stand with Nelson Chamisa. Hatife takateera imimi nhunzi.
There's something fundamentally wrong with that kind of mentality. Here is somebody who has proven not once, several times, that he is a liar and a conman. And yet, you refuse to accept that he is a liar and a conman. Even after being conned for 25 years. MDC CCC have failed to implement even one token reform in 25 years, including the 5 years in the GNU. What else do you need to convince you that MDC leaders are incompetent? Man is supposed to be a creature of reason. You can't keep on trying the same thing over and over again. Albert Einstein said, insanity is trying the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. 45 years of rigged elections, you still expect the opposition to win rigged elections. If that is not insanity, I don't know what is. Man is supposed to be a creature of reason, but clearly, not all of us have that ability. And the real tragedy for Zimbabwe is that a lot of those apostles for ED, Chamisa chete brigade, they have the fought. And they are holding the nation to ransom. Think about